Hi, I'm back with a section from Expectation Hangover by Christine Hassler. I'm not sure if that shows backwards or not, but this is a great part about self-care, and I had a couple clients today where this came up, and so I'm going to record and also send this to them. So, self-care, and it's talking about us sort of becoming the compassionate observer of our life, and I talk about that a lot, about being up here watching your life instead of being in it, and talking about the difference between self-care and self-sabotage. And sometimes we'll tell ourselves, oh, I'm eating this piece of cake because I quote unquote deserve it, but is that really helping you? Is that self-care or is that self-sabotage? And I love how Christine Hassler puts it, so let me just read some excerpts here. We add to our suffering by resorting to the behaviors associated with temporary coping strategies. So I like how she says we add to our suffering. So we might be in this state, this emotional state where we're upset, and then instead we choose to add to our suffering. For example, drinking alcohol for a pick-me-up when it actually does the exact opposite because it's a depressant. Having just a glass of wine or a drink is going to lower the serotonin levels in your brain, and although you might feel better an hour or two after having the drink because you numbed yourself, you'll feel way worse the next day because you've chemically altered your body in a depleting way. Then we try to pep ourselves up with caffeine or food, and it's just this unending cycle. The message you're sending yourself is, I don't care about you. I'm not treating you right. And instead, I would like you to send yourself the message that I do care about you. And I care about you so much that I'm giving you only the best. Okay, I'm going to feed you the best. I'm going to take care of you the best. It's very different than the message you send when you consume processed food or sugar. And I'm going to keep reading. Continuing to neglect our well-being is a problem because it threatens the part of us that's called our basic self. Our basic self is most concerned with our physical survival needs like food, sleep, and safety. When our basic self feels unnourished and untended to, it unconsciously triggers primal fears of survival that can show up as increased anxiety, sabotaging behaviors, or even a sense of panic. Does not feel good. And just one more little point about over drinking or overeating or doing something that we think is good for us, but it's actually sabotaging us. A client justified her drinking by saying she needed stress relief. She justified her eating by saying it's how she rewarded herself. The lack of exercise by saying there's simply no time. And the lack of sleep by saying she had too much work to do. Okay, this is very interesting. Our mind can find all ways to justify overdoing, undersleeping, overeating, under-exercising, and overspending. That's what our brain is a master at doing. We think we need the drink to calm ourselves down. We deserve the French fries because we've been let down and can get by on little sleep because we have so much to do. When we step into the role of the scientist or that compassionate observer up here that I talk about, we examine the negative consequences of our behavior and we can move from justifying them to changing them. Let's do it. Bye.